Now at 6:30 on WKYT this morning, Lexington police are searching for a gunman this morning after yet another overnight shooting.
Why an Eastern Kentucky school bus driver is facing charges after two students brought guns to their elementary school.
And how you can enjoy the Kentucky Derby without having to go all the way over to Churchill Downs.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT This Morning.
It's Friday, and it is Derby Eve in the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and we welcome you in. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Rebecca Smith. Let's hope we don't have any hail, as Jim informed me that we had yesterday.
Yeah,
it was weird.
You've encountered it?
I did encounter it on the drive back from Kroger to my house. I was like, what?
It looks like that is over, and it looks like it's going to be a wonderful weekend here for the Kentucky Derby. Of course, Oaks Day today. Let's check in with meteorologist Jim Caldwell, who stepped in a few minutes ago for Micah, whose voice is just ravaged by the pollen, I guess.
That's what he claimed. I don't know. I think he just wanted a day off. I don't know why he came into work first.
So maybe he's headed over the Oaks.
Maybe. Oh, wait a minute. You may be onto something there. It's a perfect day for it because temperatures are going to climb into the mid and upper 60s. In Louisville, though, closer to 70 degrees, maybe beyond that. They're at 46 here this morning, so it's still a little chill in the air. You'll find one here in Lexington as well. We're at 43 degrees, but as we head through the day today, we'll likely see those temperatures jump into the mid and upper 60s. Defender, of course, all clear today through the entire day. By 5 o'clock, there you see it, 68 degrees, which, by the way, is still below average, but we'll have a very warm weekend trying to come our way. 70s, maybe even some 80s by Sunday. We'll track that in here hour by hour coming up in just a little bit, guys.
All right, bring on that good weather. Let's get to the news.
Well, new this morning, police are searching for a gunman after another overnight shooting.
It happened about 1:30 this morning right behind the Whitaker Bank ballpark. It's the latest in a string of violent crimes in the city. WKYT's Mark Barber is tracking the crime alert now live from police headquarters. Good morning, Mark.
This is the 13th shooting in Lexington since April 7th, according to our records. It's the latest shooting in what has already been a violent few weeks. Police tell us that it happened in an area where they increased their patrols earlier this week. Now, according to investigators, the man was shot on Ballpark Drive, just off of North Broadway, around 1:30 this morning. Police told us earlier this week that they were increasing their bike patrols in that area because there's been a rash of crime there. Investigators tell us just 5 hours ago, they added another case to their list of crimes in the area after a man was shot 3 times. We're told he was shot at least once in the back. Officers tell us that the man knocked on doors after he was shot, looking for help. Police say that help came from a witness who helped him walk a few blocks over to Paris Avenue. Investigators say he may have been taken to a family member's house because when officers arrived, he was on a porch with people who knew him. We're told he was then rushed to the hospital where he is now in serious condition.
It does not appear to be life-threatening. I'm no doctor, obviously, but he was talking and he was very animated when we put him in the ambulance. I suspect it's a serious, gunshot wound, but until I get some kind of information from the hospital, I'm not thinking that he's going to die.
Officers say the man is coherent and he is helping them with their investigation. As for the shooter, police tell us they are investigating a possible suspect. Live in Lexington, Mark Barber, WKYT.
Mark, thank you very much. A school bus driver is charged after police say 2 children brought guns to a Knox County elementary school. State police have charged Charles Hantz with facilitation to unlawfully possess a weapon on school property. Police say the 2 brothers, ages 6 and 7, brought the guns from home to DeWitt Elementary School. One of them was loaded. Police say someone told the school bus driver about the guns before it arrived at school, but they say Hantz did not report it. Police say the boys brought the guns for show and tell, just thinking they were toys.
They're very young. They had no idea of what could potentially happened. And again, they had no intention to harm anyone.
Police also charged the children's parents, John and Melissa Jackson, with endangering the welfare of a minor. Police say the children are now with their grandparents.
We are tracking a death investigation in Pulaski County after a missing man was found in a lake. The sheriff's office says 88-year-old Eugene Jones was reported missing Wednesday night. His pickup was found near Lake Cumberland, but Jones wasn't anywhere in sight. The dive team searched the lake and found his body. Investigators think Jones accidentally drowned. Well, advertising might help get politicians elected, but it doesn't always work once they get in office. Kentucky lobbyists spent more than $750,000 on advertising to support and oppose bills in the recently completed 30-day session. The top two spenders had little to show for it. Anheuser-Busch spent $330,000 on TV, print, and digital ads opposing House Bill 168, which forced the company to sell its distributors in Owensboro and Louisville. Likewise, the American Cancer Society Cancer Action Network spent $104,000 supporting a statewide smoking ban. The bill passed the House for the first time, but died in the Senate. Well, a man from eastern Kentucky has died in a work-related accident in Illinois. Investigators say 20-year-old James Campbell of Prestonsburg died yesterday. He worked for R.J. Corman Company. The Ogle County, Illinois Sheriff's Office says Campbell was on an ATV next to the railroad tracks when a boom arm being used to pick up railroad spikes hit the ATV. Investigators say Campbell fell off that ATV, hitting his head. He later died.
Our time this morning is 6:36 on WKYT. Well, he says the city is sending the wrong message right now. This morning we're hearing from developer Dudley Webb about the future of Centerpoint. Webb addressed city leaders last night at council. There's been a lot of back and forth, a battle going on between the two this week about the downtown Lexington project. The block was demolished nearly 8 years ago, and it's been a giant hole in the ground for more than a year. Webb asked the city council to withdraw its demand that he fill in the hole, saying that he is, quote, so close to closing a deal that would move the project forward. But his critics say that's an excuse that they've heard time and time again.
We don't need to keep condoning this kind of behavior on the part of the developer. We don't need to keep condoning this kind of abuse of our development incentives.
Nobody in their right mind in this community that I know of would come down here and do this except us, and because we love the community, we want it to be the best that it can be, and we think it'll have a lasting impact.
Webb says the big question that everybody wants to know is when will they break ground on the next step. He told the council he expects to make a major announcement in mid-May. We'll certainly be continuing to track that. Well, the spotlight is shifting toward the Commonwealth right now.
Yeah.
The 141st Kentucky Oaks is today at Churchill Downs. It's a crowded field of 14 going to the post.
Stellar Wind is the 5-2 favorite, but keep your eye on Condo Commando and I'm a Chatterbox, both second choice at 4-1. Both fillies have won their last 3 starts. Both have had bullet works on the Churchill Downs surface. So it's going to be an exciting time.
It is.
You know, placing those bets and doing a little bit of research on all the horses today and tomorrow.
And you're going to go both days. You're going to get the full experience.
I am. I'm so excited. I cannot wait. Please follow me on my Rebecca Smith WKYT Facebook page because it's going to be a blast.
You have a fascinator about that tall?
Oh, you'll see it.
Oh,
you'll see
okay.
it today at noon. We're going to have a live shot out there.
Tune in for that.
Yeah,
all right.
Please do. You do not have to drive all the way to Louisville necessarily to enjoy the races trackside.
Right. There's a lot going on today and tomorrow right here in Lexington out at the Keeneland location there. The Kentucky Derby. You can bet. You can do all sorts of things. WKYT's Hillary Thornton is there live where it is free to get in, at least today. Hillary, good morning.
Good morning, and that's right. Just because all of that horse racing action is taking place in Louisville at Churchill Downs, that does not mean there is nothing going on for horse racing fans here in Lexington. Keeneland is gearing up for a big weekend of their own, starting today with Oaks Day as the fillies take to the track running for the Lilies. Here at Keeneland, Oaks Day features martinis on the lawn. Then tomorrow is the big day, the Kentucky Derby. Keeneland will host the world's largest Derby Day celebration. There will be plenty to do with concessions, live music, picnicking in the paddock, kids club children's activities, and of course some big racing to watch. Fans can watch the races going on at Churchill on the large video board overlooking the paddock or on the large infield board from the grandstand seats. Also, more than 1,000 televisions will be placed throughout the track. Now, if you have some favorites running for the Lilies or the Roses or any of the other races throughout the weekend, there are several ways you can place those bets here at Keeneland. Gates open at 9 o'clock both today and tomorrow morning here at Keeneland. Today, admission for Oaks Day is free, as Bill mentioned, and then tomorrow, the admission is $5 per person. Children 12 and under can get in free. Both days' races are scheduled to start around 10:30. Live in Lexington, Hillary Thornton, WKYT.
All right, Hillary, some excitement ahead. And Bob Baffert is a big shot quarter horse trainer who has promised to make a splash at this year's Kentucky Derby. The U.S. Hall of Famer is saddling the top two favorites for the Kentucky Derby. Baffert has early 5-2 favorite American Pharaoh and 3-1 second choice Dortmund in what some believe is the strongest 1-2 punch since trainer Ben Jones won with Citation and finished second with Coaltown all the way back in 1948.
Well, Kentucky's Bud Dupree waited anxiously last night in Chicago, hoping to hear his name called in the first round of the NFL Draft.
With the 22nd pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Bud Dupree.
Roger Goodell there announcing that Dupree becomes the first Wildcat selected in the first round since Dwayne Robertson in 2003. Before that, you go back to Tim Couch in 1999.
All right, we have an update to a story we first brought you yesterday. We've learned the demolition for a historic Lexington building has been put off, at least for now. Fayette County Property Valuation Administrator David O'Neill posted on Facebook late last night that he has received word that the People's Bank demolition on South Broadway has been postponed. He says in the post, Langley Properties, which owns that location, discussed the project yesterday with city leaders and again have decided, at least for now, to put things off in terms of demolition.
And then drama continues with Centerpoint. That's another issue that's kind of similar, but you know, we'll hopefully figure out what's going on
when you're
mid-May.
In a dynamic growing city, there are these little tension points here and there. All right, it's 6:42 on WKYT.
Hopefully no tension points to deal with in terms of traffic this morning.
Let's go out to Officer Don and check on live drive traffic. Good morning, Don.
Good morning. There's really not. Traffic is moving pretty great right now on the inner and outer loops of the circle and on the exit ramps. The biggest point you're going to run into later, though, is the milling and paving work. Now, that's been a mess. It needs to be done, but it's still a mess on Man o' War between Richmond Road and Tate's Creek. So expect that to kick in about after 9 o'clock this morning on the inner and outer loops of Man o' War. There's a live look at Broadway and High Street. We're good to go there. And on our Waze map, just a couple of stalled cars and police running radar. That's the main thing to deal with on the way in. Be careful on Paris Pike. Near the Fayette-Bourbon County line, officers are running radar there, trying to reduce collisions. Also on Heartland Parkway this morning to the neighborhoods. We'll keep you up to date. Now back to you in the studio.
All right, they're playing some good music, having some fun over on 98.1 The Bull when you get in your car this morning. And Deanne, by the way, is going to be with you over there.
She is going to be over there. She'll show me the ropes a little bit since I'm, you know, kind of easing in there to the Oaks Day.
Yeah, she'll show you the ropes.
Okay. Should I be scared, very afraid?
Be very scared.
We'll have fun, I'm sure. She's always a good time. Well, David Letterman is planning ahead for retirement, and he's getting a little help from the First Lady of the United States. Find out how she offered to help him in about 5 minutes.
And we'll be tracking a lot of sunshine as Rebecca and Deanne and even Amber later today will also be out at the Oaks in Louisville. It looks great for you. We'll be tracking all of it coming up for you in just a few minutes.